Welcome back, everybody, to the Hearthstone Pro Am tournament brought to you by NVIDIA. Our last series of the day of week 5 is RDU versus Xixo. And RDU versus Xixo is fun because I think there's a little history that people don't know about that I like to share. Both these guys are in a Skype group and basically a clan of friends outside of their own teams. We know Xixo's on Archon, RDU's on Nihilum. But they're also like in a group that they call themselves Assault Boys, where they watch games together, help each other practice, and generally show some camaraderie. And these guys not only are on the Assault Boys, but they're also highly competitive on the Assault Boys, where like there's times where they get so emotionally heated, they remove each other's off friends lists and then re-add each other later because they realize it's just Hearthstone. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think it might get a little heated, but probably not because these guys ultimately, no matter what happens, are still respected players and peers. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun watching who wins this one, man.
Yeah, and both of them can be quite aggressive players. So I always like seeing aggro mirrors because the decision making is usually very crucial, like to how the game go. Sorry, I've lost my words here. But yeah, they're both using mirrored lineups actually. So we might actually just see complete mirror decks with a few tech cards. I mean, Zoo's come back into the format, and Xixo is infamous for his Zoo deck, so it's more than likely he's going to be running that.
Yeah, I mean Xixo with Zoo is it's almost an alliteration, like Six Zoo or whatever. But it's almost not with what Xixo likes to do. He likes to play fast, brutal, efficient decks to legend, and that's almost become his claim to fame at this point. People unfortunately don't remember Xixo too much in his tournament runs, even though he's had several successful attempts at tournaments. They just remember that he hit number one legend again, probably with something like Hunter or Zoo or Miracle Row, like whatever had the most brutal win percentage at fast speed. And he's a guy that focuses on that kind of aspect of the game, making sure that he can optimize his win percentage in every capacity. RDU, on the other hand, he's a guy who's playing almost the same exact decks, although we don't know if if it's Handlock, if it's Zoo. We don't know if it's a more slower Nihilum Druid that has Ragnaros and Nourish, or if it's going to be more aggressive and fast like the standard mid range. So that's what the differences can be. I don't really think Rogue has seen too much difference outside of Oil Rogue. There's been a few interesting movements within Oil Rogue, like playing more minion based versus more spell based, but I think that's still being figured out at the moment based off Blackrock Mountain.
Yeah, we've seen a Doctor Boom come into the Oil Rogue recently, and yeah, I think the lineup. I think Raji is probably going to be running Zoo as well, and I would like to see a mirror actually because it then comes down to draws and a lot of mechanical skill and decision making. The life coach. The Druid Life Coach user, which is their kind of signature clan deck, is very interested with the Nourish and the Rag, speeding things up using like Double Drake and stuff. But they, like you said, they're going to be the key differences in these decks, just little tweaks here and there, personal preference. And we actually see, wait, is that a Mildred mirror?
Yeah, actually, both these players are bringing. I was talking about fast Druid versus maybe slightly slower mid range Druid, but didn't account for the possibility of seeing the mill druids. This was, of course, popularized a couple months ago by Crit Parrian, actually. He was the one playing a lot on stream, and then it wasn't exactly the most optimized lists. It had really funky stuff like Tree of Life and some other really no way, how's that supposed to actually work if you draw it? But Tides of Time recently did very well in Kingwin with it the same weekend as Gfinity. And, well, we're about to see what happens when both these forces collide, if they're in the similar vein.
I don't even know how to call this matchup. I mean, the objective is so strange because they both want to deck each other out, but I guess it'll just come down to a bit of board aggression, really, because you want to beat your opponent as fast. You want him to fatigue faster than you, so I guess we're gonna see some minion wars. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a kind of a high level Mill Druid matchup. So this is going to be really exciting.
Right. So the key to this is to not overextend and with your removal, because you have to like the person who wins is the person who gets to keep the minion on the board and do a little damage. because you almost have the same exact thing. You're going to use mass AoE with Starfall and Poison Seeds. You're going to force them to draw mill cards. The most important thing then is how you get those small differences, such as having a minion stick on the board. Like having these Grove Tenders is actually a pretty big deal. So that way you can kill the board and still do a little bit of damage. First on, also a big deal. You want to dump your hand as soon as possible. That would also be excellent. But I mean, this is still going to be a little bit awkward on both ends.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, Hearthstone is a really good pickup here because you can empty your hand quicker. So when he forces you to draw your opponent, it doesn't have such a negative effect as it would if you couldn't dump your hand as quick. So Hearthstone, I'm interested to see how much difference Hearthstone will make in kind of the hand war. But I can imagine it's going to be quite heavy.
Yeah, RDU playing this Cold Blade, unfortunately, is going to mill him too. But, you know, dumping out that healing touch might end up becoming a problem. Force Nature, not as much, because I guess it's still damage, but removal isn't as high a priority there. It's the cards like Naturalize, which might be the big swing. Really humorous that both these guys will most likely attack each other's face, because just that's not what this deck does.
This is just chaos. It's all sorts of stuff getting this guy. We just saw a healing touch and a heal bot. I don't really know how to comment. I just go toe to toe with removal until 7 sticks, and when that minion starts chipping away at them, they'll gain a bit of an advantage because they'll be at the life advantage. But there's still a lot of healing to cycle through first before we might see that making a difference.
Well, the Emperor Thorson is actually a really big deal. It'll help him dump cards much more efficiently. Like being able to utilize that and then make everything cheaper, like it allows you to dump so much more efficiently. Naturalize becomes 0 mana, in fact. So you can play big cards and then naturalize when you have nothing else, maximize it. Look at that, your Starfall on the Wild Pyromancer. That became a 3/5 for 2 mana. And of course he just used Starfall, so maybe you can use the Emperor as well. Artie's clapping, but Xixo is just gonna dunk this with another Starfall.
Yeah, Xixo doesn't seem bothered by the appearance of this Emperor. Like you said, it's probably just going to get Starfall. But that's 2 Starfalls gone. But in this matchup, you're not going to see like a lot of minions being played all at once. It's going to be a 1 or 2 at a time. And you still have Poison Seeds, which can deal with anything big, like the new card. I can't remember what its name is. The new taunt card that's in Ardu's hand.
The Volcanic Lumberer is what it's officially called.
So yeah, so turn a 7/8 into 2/2 is pretty good, regardless if you haven't got Starfall to follow it up. But yeah, it's kind of.
What's nice is that if he has an opportunity to have one of these stick and do double combo, I mean, that's a lot of damage. He might actually just kill Xixo because he's able to squeeze the Volcanic Lumber early. His opponent used Naturalizes already. I mean, by all means, if Xixo can't deal with this, he might be in trouble. But there's Poison Seeds. And Poison Seeds gives him an opportunity to use Keeper of the Grove and get some board momentum. How does he deal with the second one? Is he going to be forced to combo to not die to the second Volcanic Lumber? I'm not sure.
I think so. And you can even get rid of this Keeper if you want to naturalize. Because he just decides to keep it. But I think it's a good idea, actually, because he's got Volcanic Lumberers coming his way eventually. And Xixo's already had to throw a Poison Seeds and 2 Starfalls away already. And it's quite early in the game. It's only turn 9. And Ardu still has access to these cards. And getting that Cold Light's going to be great for him because he's going to be able to naturalize straight after and probably make him overdraw.
That's right.
Get 7 damage to the face.
Yeah, I'm just calculating how much damage he has. Going to be 21, still a little bit short, but he's going to load up more minions, forcing his opponent to mill. Got picked up his second Force of Nature as well. It's just a lot of damage and pressuring. This is an opportunity for RDU to start really going forward. Losing Poison Seeds, pretty big deal. So now Xixo is going to have to combo clear out of here. He also can leverage the Innervate with the Wrath as well.
Oh, he's got the naturalize. This is
Oh,
looking
you're
really
right.
good for Ardu now. Because Ardu hasn't used as many removal options as Xixo, and he's got the board as well. But the one thing Xixo does have over him, he still has both his volcanic lumbers sitting around. But I think that's a naturalize in the corner. I'm not sure. It's hiding behind the healing touch and the overlay. Or is that just another healing touch?
Yeah, I think it's 2 healing touches.
Yeah. But Poison Seeds deals with this fine.
Right. So you poison seeds and then you force of nature. Is that what you do? I mean, I gotta admit, man, I'm a little bit lost too in this matchup. I guess Force of Nature wouldn't matter because Force of Nature, like, he has so much heal in the deck that he could easily bounce back up. Like, if you do 4 damage to, or 6 damage to face, like, big deal. Ends up healing up 8.
I think the combo is literally there for they've either fatigued enough damage where a combo would just beat them, and that it just speeds up the fatigue core, I guess. And I think it's a really effective way to deal with it. With just waiting around for them to die to fatigue, and because it speeds up the game so much as well, it gives them less time to respond to the fatigue as well. I mean, if he develops enough board here, he might just have lethal at some point. I think that's worth just having in a deck like this. But honestly, this mirror is very rare, especially in of two players of their caliber playing it out.
Yeah. Looks like 1 Force of Nature is enough to clear here. You can take your time. This is starting to get down to like the really important parts of the mirror. Like, both have lost a fair number of cards. Oh, he's calculating how much he can do with 2 Force of Natures and a Savage Roar if he can innervate that out. Is that enough?
Oh, yeah.
I think so, actually. And that should be lethal, right?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Who'd have thought Mildred would actually burst this much? It's incredible.
What the hell? Oh my god. That's 20... yeah, that's 30 damage right there. Well, GG, that's over. Xixo is out of... or sorry, RDU is out of that Mildred mirror, and with a win, won't be able to play that anymore. Meanwhile, Xixo will still have to win with that deck. And I always like playing mill decks against control. It's really fun. You know, Control Warrior, for example, really easy one to punish. Handlock being a super fun one to punish. Poison destroy the giants. Naturalize kills the drakes. You know, you actually even Keeper the Grove. You don't even need this, the Naturalize. Like, those kinds of stuff. Really interesting to see how it faces off against it. Against a deck like Mech Shaman or Hunter, it's always dicey because you have the removal, you have the heal, but if it doesn't line up, sometimes you get rolled over.
Yeah, I think what's going to be great is we get to see this Mildred deck again. And because we've got 2 rogues, it'd be interesting to see that matchup as well. Because obviously Rogue relies on drawing a lot of cards, but Druid could probably push them into discarding quite a bit if they're a bit too eager with their sprints, perhaps. So yeah, I'm actually glad we get to see another mill match, hopefully, if Xixo decides to roll with it again.
Well, I really don't know those matchups against other things too well. I haven't got a chance to explore that Druid deck myself. But if I have to, theory craft a little bit, I think against combo decks, it generally doesn't do too well because it provides them the combo pieces to punish them. That said, I'm not sure what kind of Warlocks both these guys are bringing. One could bring Handlock, one could bring Zoo, one could bring Demon Lock. One can bring combo Warlock too, that, you know, with the OTK style, double power overwhelming with Orison. Or it could just be Pirate Rogue on both ends. Something's a little fishy here, man. Both these guys bringing Mildred, both bringing Pirate Rogue.
Maybe they just felt they woke up this morning, they're like, you know what, today I'm going to bring Mildred, Pirate Rogue, and whatever. And all of a sudden they're in this match like, oh, snap, we both bought the same decks. Who would have thought? But being in the same Skype group, I consider that pretty unlikely.
Well, I mean, it could be realistically that these guys were like talking about ideas and sharing it, and then like saying, "Huh, that's a good idea. Maybe I should play it." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe you should play it." And then both of them did end up playing it.
Or maybe they decided they wanted 100% kind of skill-based match. It's all down to mechanical skill and decision making. So we'll play mirror decks, and we'll match them up in a mirror as well. I mean, that could be what they could have. They could have like had a secret agreement for, perhaps.
Well, it's not really a secret anymore. I think
Well,
with
not
these guys playing back and forth. The thing about Pirate Rogue is that they're supposed to be an aggressive deck. And when you have a bunch of awkward cards like Assassin's Blade, it becomes a lot harder to leverage something like Jeeves.
I don't think I've ever seen. I've only ever seen this deck played once or twice on Xixo's stream. I haven't seen much else. So I guess they're probably just going to fight for board and then just try and burst each other out, or maybe they'll just go all in. I'm honestly not sure. They're giving us matchups we never see, like mirrors we never see at this kind of level of play.
Sixel's at a pretty big advantage because RDU can't really utilize Jeeves. He has to play from behind, and now he can play the. Oh my gosh, it's South Sea Captain. This is like Hearthstone Jeoparino for me, man. Like I don't know these cards as well as I should because I don't see it played that often. It's a good thing that RDU did clear that off, the one-eye cheat. Otherwise, Coldblood would have absolutely destroyed him. But Sixo's at a really big advantage right now.
I think Xixo's at an advantage as well because he played this deck to legend. Well, maybe not this specific deck, but he's played this Pirate Rogue Legend before, so he's got a lot of games behind him and experience of this deck. Whereas Ardu, I can't imagine has played it as much as Xixo.
Well, the thing about he picks up the Bloodsail Raider. The thing about what RDU was doing is that I was pointing out is that he doesn't have a way to seize back the damage race, but Deadly Poison on Assassin's Blade is one way to do it. Bloodsail Raider is another as well, considering how it's in tandem, but that Blade Flurry will shut it down. You just play the Dread Corsair. All right. Oh, he has a South Sea Captain as well.
Xixo just
That's
got
a
everything
lot
he needs.
of burst. Is that lethal? 6, 10, 16. Just barely. That's right.
Wow.
Just one off, man. So close. But RDU, can he strike back? No, that's not a good card to have. Arcane Golems clear. There's almost no way that Xixo cancel his opponent, right? Because almost like I feel like this deck tops out very low mana cost.
Well, he's just given his opponent spells anyway to activate that Eviscerate. Even if he cleared the board with the 2 Arcane Golems, it's very likely he was going to draw a spell, which lets him finish it off. It's just crazy how fast this deck is, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's a aggro deck, essentially. You just go really hard, use Cold Bloods, Shadow Steps for extra points of damage, Blade Flurries to clear. It's fun, but looks like the creator of this Pirate Rogue ends up in that mirror. It's a 1/1, and I guess that means that this Warlock deck will most likely be a Troll deck. I don't even know what it's going to be. I'm going to guess OTK Warlock. That's what I'm going to guess here. What do you think?
So an OTK mirror? That sounds about right. If you're going to troll someone, that would probably be the deck you use. I mean,
maybe Dragon Handlock. That's also been experimented a little bit. Playing dragons like Ysera and Handlock, and you play Blackwing Technician. So you curve out by playing Technician on turn 3, Twilight Drake on turn 4, and then Belcher on turn 5, and then it's just like this series of huge mid-range creatures that you can't deal with easily. And then, of course, instead of having like Jiraxis, you have Ysera. So it's a pretty interesting approach if they choose to do that. Of course, they might just simply slam Zoo and just go for it. Maybe mech Zoo, just completely try to own their opponents. Why not?
Well, they're keeping us in suspense right now. I just don't know what to expect. I mean, we've seen Pirate Druid, Pirate Rogue, sorry, we've seen Mildred, so it could be anything, really. It's crazy. I mean, how do we even talk about these matchups? I mean, Mill
Well,
Druid.
Pirate Rogue struggles against Druid, I think. Oh, normal Druid. Just because Druid's really good at setting up defensiveness with like a Wrath on for one, that kind of stuff is good. Harrison Jones, if they have it in the deck, is great, but not necessarily Mill Druid. Mill Druid is interesting. Because it's just basically cards that draw and cards that heal and cards that remove. There's no taunts. Taunts are like the big enemy of that deck. That's why you need to really leverage sap as much as you can in that rogue deck.
I mean,
I always feel like Pirate Rogue is just so inferior to Oil Rogue in so many ways.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weak backspace rogue as well, because it kind of has the same agenda, because it's just like super aggro, but backspace rogue had been built and designed to beat your opponent as fast as possible with Lepinomes, and so it had all the cards for the aggro, whereas Pirate Rogue has to use the pirate synergy, and not all the pirate cards are kind of based around that kind of like that quick win. And some of them are quite not brilliant. Like, I mean, a 4/1's very easy to deal with most of the time. I mean, if you can stealth it, that's great, but you're not always going to get the opportunity to do that. So they're both decided on what to queue up now, I imagine. I mean, I would like to see a Warlock mirror. You might as well keep the theme going if you're going to be playing mirrors.
Yeah, I guess at this point, because of how unpredictable it might be, you might as well do it. Oh, looks like they're playing Murlocs. Of course, I should have seen this from a mile away, but I didn't. Oh, man, Murloc War Leader, though. That's so big because it buffs on both ends. Ardu doesn't even know how to trade this down. I guess you just trade, right? I don't know. We just
saw Ardu celebrate when he played
He forgot. He forgot that it buffs all Murlocs, man. He didn't read the text on the card. He played too fast. That was definitely a sequencer.
This is crazy.
Dude, just hit the face, man. You got this, Ardu. Nah. This is so dumb.
He's playing too honest now. Oh, there we go.
So now Implosion has to hit for at least 3.
Xixo's pretty good at these implosion things, though. Did I jinx him?
Oh, I did. Oh, now RDU has to hit Implosion for as much as he wants. Oh, actually, he drew a Knife Juggler and a Void Walker. That's pretty decent, too. No, he hit the face. Both these guys getting relatively unlucky for their circumstance. Defender Vargas pretty huge here. But of course, this is where Implosion's gonna wreck him too.
This game's crazy.
Hit the Argus for 3 or more. There it is. Juggle to the face. I feel like everything I've seen recently is like juggle to the face. He gets to trade his War Leader, which isn't desirable, but he's got Direwolf Alpha and Imp Gang Boss, which allows him to pick some really good trades. It doesn't matter if he's off curve. In these type of, quote, mirror matches, whatever the hell you want to call this, priority is board control, 100%.
Oh, another Implosion. Wow. And he gets a Direwolf Alpha as well, so you can even increase his trade value. What's he going to do it on? I guess 2-3. Oh, I guess a 2 this time. But the knives make up for it, right?
Sort of.
He gets one more knife.
Yeah, and he gets the trade. I think RDU is going to run away with this game right now here. Unless Xixo whips out the old anti-Murloc mirror tech, and that's Hellfire. No. Sea Giant would also been good too. No, I think that's it. Game is over. RDU takes it. He is the Murloc King.
So Xixo loses a Zoo Mirror. I know it's Murloc's, but it's still a Zoo Mirror. I don't think Xixo would be happy with that.
You don't look very entertained, Aqua. These guys are putting on a show, man.
No, I am entertained, honestly. I think the Mill Druid match was probably the most exciting for me because it's now becoming a competitive deck. So there will be situations maybe in the future. We don't know how BlackRock will progress with Mill Druid though, but there may be situations in the future where we have to see that mirror. And so it was interesting to see that. The pirate one was a bit ridiculous, and that That Murloc mirror was a bit ridiculous as well, but what do we expect? The type of decks create ridiculous matches, I guess.
Yeah, I
So
guess so. I'm actually having a lot of fun watching these guys play stupid decks. I mean, it's very clear that they're not trying their hardest, but who cares, man? The fact is, these guys are known for being a little bit too intense, and they decide to collectively troll the viewers with stupid bad decks. But what's really funny is that I'm pretty sure that they like Xixo would hit legend with all of these decks at the beginning of the season. He could do it definitely. Oh, maybe not the Mill Druid, but definitely Murloc Zoo, as well as Pirate
aggro.
Rogue.
I mean, Xixo's like an aggro master.
Here's the strategy, man. Here's the strategy. All you do is play everything till rank 1 5-star, like play Oil Rogue or Mid-Range Druid or whatever, Mech Shaman, Mech Mage. Then when you're at rank 1 5-star, you queue up Mill Druid, and you would just say Mill Druid hits rank like legend first in the season 6-0, and you get the screenshot. That's all that matters. It's a screenshot. This is also what you do. You're at rank 2 legend. You queue it up. You somehow get like the most perfect matchup with Murloc Zoo, and you win. And then you post onto the forums, rank 1 legend Murloc Zoo, new meta, question mark. Of course, you take the screenshot and you show the proof there. That's how you do it, man.
It'll be on the front page of Harpoon, I imagine.
For sure.
And then you'll have about 50 comments saying, I've lost 3 games in a row with this. This deck is garbage. And then you win, because that's ultimately what you wanted to achieve. You just wanted to troll the internet. Make them lose those stars they value so much.
Oh, man. RDU's got a pretty disgusting start, but, there's a lot of anti-aggro right now in the hand of Xixo. So even if he goes for this Blood Sail Raider, that's insane. Xixo's going to be able to remove it with that.
Yeah, I mean, Xixo could potentially bring this series back. I mean, he's got 2 aggro decks to face against, and if he can get some healing, some good board, get some good removal, I mean, I guess Mildred's one of the decks which could deal with this. I mean, it depends how fast it becomes. We can see an Arcane Golem. That's pretty damn good, I suppose. And the Tinkers. He's got the Wrath, though. He's got answers. He's got healing. I can see Xixo taking this.
Nah. Well, but let's just see, man. There's a lot of damage. You're going to need to hit the healing. I get that Xixo was thinking about ramping a little bit with Growth Tender, so that way he can play his cards a little bit faster, but that also gives more opportunities like what you just saw there, the Dread Corsair plus the oil to do damage.
But he's just lost 6 damage there. That's 6 damage gone because it didn't get to attack. And he's got a heal. He's got a heal in his hand with Ancient of Law. I mean, it only takes him to draw a healing touch, and he'll swing straight back up. But the problem is, I suppose, with Mildred is against this, you're feeding the aggro deck cards all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So where do you sustain, I suppose? At what point do you sustain against an aggro deck where you just constantly give them resources?
Dude, I don't know, man. I think he's just going to play Poison Seeds on this thing. Or swipe reasonable as well. I guess you don't want to play Poison Seeds because it gives him a 2/2.
I guess the strategy
honestly.
I guess the strategy could be you go for 1-for-1 with the aggro deck, and then you heal, and you never give him any cards. And
he's going to gain cards himself. Look at this. Doesn't matter. Just hit him to the face, draw 2 cards, get your second Arcane Golem Shadow Step. You want to Shadow Step now and get the card back? Okay, guess not. Doesn't really matter. Oh, Wombo combo. This is sick, man. Pirate Rogue's doing work. New meta.
What has Xixo Naju done? What have they done to this meta? This is tough. Like, what do you do? You want to remove the Jeeves at least, I suppose. So I guess you just have to force. And you could innovate nothing out.
You could innervate out the Keep of the Grove. I don't even think Poison... Actually, you could innervate Poison Seeds and make the Treant stay. That's so good. Why didn't he do that? Dude, if you had two 2/2s on the board, it'd be really effective against this, as opposed to having to use Keeper of the Grove defensively.
And more burst damage. We do see the anti-heal bot though. He's going to be able to top him up a little bit.
No, man. Xixo should have used Poison Seeds, and that's like what you do with Force of Nature, actually, now that I think about it. You rush 6 damage on turn 10, and then you use Poison Seeds and make them stay. I think that combo's OP now that I think about it.
I mean, yeah, I think it would have worked because he would have had minions. He could heal up now and still keep the board. Wait, is he going to face tank this?
Yeah, he's just going to heal up, I think. After he plays Keeper of the Grove, he's going to use the anti-kill bot.
I think there's one thing to note with RGU right now is he's drawn excellent cards. We haven't seen any ships cannons yet. We haven't seen any South Sea captains or any of that kind of clunky stuff yet, which won't be as effective.
I mean, he's gotten so unlucky. He hasn't. You're exactly right. He hasn't drawn his ship's cannon, man. That card is the linchpin of making this deck work.
Nice, just keeps going face.
He's going to run out of damage. Xixo drew perfectly. Look at this. This is disgusting. He drew a Healing Touch and Ancient of Lore. Wow, Xixo's such a lucker, man. Look at this.
And he's pretty much almost back to full. Oh, wow, that's useful.
Yeah, too bad you can't Shadow Step and Eviscerate.
I mean, this is what you do now with Xixo. You don't even need to play Cold Light. You just hit Hero Power, pass, and when he plays something, you respond to it, and then it's such a life. It's so high in life that RG just can't come back.
Oh, he drew it too late, man. Ships cannon, not enough. But what he can do is play a Pirate next turn, Shadow Step that Pirate, and play it again, and get Ship's Cannon value. Gets 2 damage off of that. That's kind of like Demolisher with the Battle Cry, and that's kind of ridiculous. In fact, if you think about it,
he is going to play
man.
Oh, Captain
Greenskin. Oh, he just used his last charge of Deadly Poison too. Well, very clearly, Xixo has to Starfall the face here, but chooses to go for a minion. That is ultimate BM and a misplay, all sequenced in one.
I mean, he considers
Poison Seeds, man. Do it.
I mean, maybe he considers it a threat. You did put a good combo there, you know, that mini Demolisher. That's what he's scared of.
Well, Sap means that he gets to buy a little bit more time, I believe. Captain Greenskin buffs this to a Cog Hammer or a Stormforge Axe, allows him to attack.
And then he Blade Flurries.
You know what? I was actually curious why he didn't Shadow Step Greenskin here. Because that would have been... If he Shadow Step Greenskin, he could have buffed it to a 3-4. RDU is clearly not practiced very much with Pirate Rogue. I question his methods here.
He needs some coaching from Xixo. Obviously, I think that Xixo would have done the exact same thing. He would have saw that and did it.
It would have built his own Assassin's Blade, right? 3-4? Come on, that's crazy.
Can he? You can't actually kill him yet. He did live a turn.
Ah, I gotcha. He can innervate out another Ancient of Lore and heal. It's actually quite humorous how close this game actually got, where Xixo's, like, he's healed an absurd amount, upwards up to 25 health, like, somewhere around there. And despite all this, RD still got him down to almost single digits, so ridiculous stuff. But looks like Xixo has managed to stabilize, and you know what? I have to, again, say that I think RDU's pirate skills are not high enough.
Xixo is the South Sea captain. I guess he's just a deckhand RDU. He needs more training. Swap the decks for a couple more years. He might get up to Xixo's level when he takes him onto the full crew. Agreed.
That means we have the Pirate Rogue from RDU versus the Murloc Zoo from Xixo, I believe. Yeah, I have to imagine that actually Xixo is a huge favorite to win this game. Because I think Pirate Rogue is, one, struggles against board control tactics, and two, it's bad. So there's that.
I mean, it is still Zoo, so you'll be able to outtrade Ardew, unless Ardew just gets a god hand like he did last time, because he just drew none of those pirate cards that may have slowed him down. Everything he drew just was really fast. But I think actually some pirates would help Ardew in this case. You know, that ship's cannon could do some work, kill some Murlocs, get some 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s.
All right, here we go, man. Last chance for redemption. RDU, keep that ship's cannon. It's going to be so key. He does. He keeps it for the curve, but more importantly, he keeps it for the pirate synergy. He's going to need that that effect. It's going to be really useful. Don't laugh, man. It's actually a real powerful thing. Imagine if he just shoots down a Direwolf Alpha or Flame Imp. Are you kidding me?
Like I said, it could be 2, 3-for-1 easily if he draws the right pirate to go with it. I mean, South Sea deckhand straight away. Oh, what's the 4-1 called? The one that gets stealth.
The one-eyed cheat.
One-eyed cheat, right?
Yeah, the one-eyed cheat would be really. But the ship's cannon is not a pirate, so he can't sequence it away, and gain stealth. The stealth would be really useful against things like Implosion. Not useful against things like Knife Juggler.
Yeah.
Oh, that curve though from Xixo. And he's got the Cold Light Seer. I don't even think this is actually the nuts. You can't beat that hand.
Wait, you got to play for a Deadly Poison. He's got the option.
It's not possible. I don't care if you have Blade Flurry and Gore Howl combined. You can't come back from.
So where are all these pirates? I see a lot of kind of aggro rogue stuff like spells. But
It's over. Well, actually, you're completely right. You know, on a serious note, the Blade Flurry is a really big deal. The Murloc War Leader, though, man, that is so crazy, so strong. Holy cow! And he's got the old Merc.
Oh, too late. We never got to see the cannon do any work.
Well, I mean, you can't really blame him. Xixo had the God Opener. And he has the Grimskill Oracle. How is this even fair? This is actually insane. Like, he can do so much big plays here. Or he can go for the more, like, slow, board-centric build-up. Play, like, Void Caller with the Murloc War Leader. No, to go all in. And, of course, he will not be rewarded because I think there is... No, wait. Actually, he doesn't have enough damage to clear everything with the Blade Flurry.
So when Blade Flurry resolves it, they'll keep the health until the War Leader dies, right? So they'll be on 1 health each. So yeah, it doesn't even clear.
So he needs to kill off that War Leader as soon as possible.
Yeah, let's see some cannon shenanigans.
What are you doing, Artie? Put that cannon down, man. You need to kill off that War Leader first. Okay, so he's gonna use that as an eviscerate. Totally justified. I thought he was gonna use the South Sea, but I guess he's gonna try to use that as a combo enabler. He's got a lot of Blade Flurry damage, man. If he was able to set up a weapon, put up like oil that South Sea, that's like a 20 damage Blade Flurry or something stupid like that.
Old Murky coming down. Is he going to trade here? Is he afraid of the cannon?
Dude, everyone's afraid of the cannon. Are you kidding me?
So again, he just makes oil.
Oh my god! Actually, a second Blade Flurry doesn't help.
He successfully made Blade Flurry worse again in that turn. I mean, the War Leader made Blade Flurry worse. Now this has just made Blade Flurry worse. Xixo knows what's going on.
Nah, he's got another way to buff the Murkai, though. He's got the Tide Hunter, and he's got the Defender of Argus. Pretty crazy stuff. I think Xixo's got this, man.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, he's got a taunt. Don't think he'll do anything now.
Oh, it's nice. You just Assassin's Blade and you play the South Sea and knock out the Murkai. Or you can consequently play the Dread Corsair too. Okay, so you can do that. Do both. Middle of the run play.
He finally gets rid of that Murkai. Lots of imps in this deck for a Murloc deck. I don't think it's sticking to the theme, really.
Actually, that's a board clear next turn. Interesting. Interesting. The plot thickens. Although, if you do board clear... Oh, man. If you do board clear, unfortunately, your opponent leaves back behind 2 1/1s. That means you're 1 power overwhelming from dying.
Such a strange card in Gambos's interactions with the area effector. Oh, he just gets the
Is
that two abusive sergeant? Wow.
And that's gonna do it. Looks like RDU gets outthought, outplayed, and outskilled. And Xixo wins the series 3-2, man, with meta-defining decks. What do you think about that?
Maybe this is the future. Maybe this is how the meta is going to shape after seeing this series. I mean, this is a high-level tournament with some high-level players in it. Maybe this is serious business. But RDU finished that game with a smile on his face, so it's very rare you see a pro player smile when he loses, but I guess they both played the same stuff. They had a bit of fun with the series.
Yeah, I think so. I think, in the end, it's just like the lighthearted side of Hearthstone. People are just like, taking it a little bit too seriously sometimes. But this match didn't have too much impact on the standings overall. Both these guys are still going to be in the finals in a couple of weeks. So in the end, don't worry. It's not like RDU eliminated himself by playing Pirate Rogue. But he did lose 3 games with Pirate Rogue, I believe. So I think he just really needs to shore up some of his skills or even go back to the drawing board I was bringing to the table. But, I had a lot of fun today. 4 series are down and over with. We've had a pretty good set of games. What was some of your favorite moments?
Although they were very brief, I did enjoy the very quick games because it just showed the power of those decks. Like we had it from the Warrior deck, the Mech Warrior, and the Mech Shaman. So those games were really good. I liked the Mildred Mirror. That was fun. Taj and Strife Crow had some excellent games where they had to make some really tough decisions, especially that Druid Hunter game, like right towards the end. I think that was probably my favorite moment of the whole day.
Yeah, that was fun stuff for sure, too. Well, we've had a lot of fun as well, and we like to thank NVIDIA for bringing this tournament to make it possible. Check out all this stuff at esports.gforce.com, as well as the NVIDIA Shield tablet. If you're looking for a cool, cheap, and affordable way to hang out and play some of your games, you can check out the NVIDIA Shield, which is, you can play regular games on it, or you can use it as a tablet to play Hearthstone. There's definitely a few things you can use with that. You can check it out at all the products that NVIDIA generally has. We've also still been accommodating the time change here on Wednesday because we don't want to conflict with Black Rock Mountain releasing, and then one of those things we want to see the new cards, but it's releasing as we're like broadcasting it, so it's like impossible to guarantee. We'll just play Wednesday at the same time next week, and make sure you guys can check it out. Any final words that you want to talk about, Nick, before we head off?
Just thanks for having me on the show. It was a good experience, and it was great to see what the pros were bringing for both fun and for being competitive. So it was a nice kind of mix of matches, and it was good fun.
Absolutely. So a big shout out to our production guys. See you guys next week at 8 a.m. Pacific. From Frodan and Aquabot and everyone else here, thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.